Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at The Lost Hero, Chapter 52, continuing Piper's story. Now, in this chapter, Piper is just charged and glowing. It starts with her waking up and feeling great. She wakes up and she sees Drew standing there with her and her lieutenants. And Drew says, "You're going to make us late for breakfast, so guess what? You get to clean the whole cabin." And Piper's like, no, I'm not. And Drew's just like, "What did you say?" And Piper says, "I think I'm going to be the new cabin leader." And then Drew says, "Do you think you're gonna..." Piper stops her and says, "What, challenge you?" "Yes, I do." And immediately she takes out her dagger and points it at Drew's throat or her chin. She says, "Yeah, at noon. Let's have a challenge. Or I can challenge you right now if that makes it easier." And she's just looking at Drew. And Piper's just so confident and she's so happy. And all the other campers are just looking like, what's going to happen? Well, Drew ends up, I concede. So she gives up her position and lets Piper be the leader of the cabin. And Piper says, "Oh, thank you. Well, now that that's done, please go tell Chiron that we're going to be late to breakfast because there was a change in leadership." And then there's this cool part where Drew's like, "I'm not going to forget this." Piper's like, "Oh, please, don't forget it. I want you to remember." And then as Drew's leaving, Piper just says, "Stop. And just so you know, I am one of Aphrodite's daughters. And if you even look at Jason Grace, I'm going to put you in a catapult," right? This is a kind of an old machine, "and shoot you across onto this lone island or something." And she just says it with power and authority. And Drew is a little scared, and she tries to leave, and she kind of hits the door and then goes out. Well, I believe after breakfast, or a few hours later, whatever, she has to go have a video conference in Chiron's office. So she goes over to Chiron's office, and he looks at her pretty happily, and she has a video conference with her dad, which is really cool. Chiron says that demigods and technology don't mix very well. That somehow monsters can sense them through the technology. Like just, using Facebook or Twitter or Googling something. I don't know. But in this place at the camp, it's special for a short time. And so Piper calls her dad. And of course, we see Coach Hedge, and Coach Hedge is Piper's dad's like new life coach. And they fired the old assistant, and they got a new assistant who we find out is the air spirit, Melly, I think was her name, that saved them before. And she kind of kisses Coach Hedge on the head, like in the video conference and stuff. So there's kind of a relationship going on there. But we learn that that Tristan McLean, I think it is doing great. He's doing fine. He's recovering. His normal life is just exploding. The media are like, "Where has Tristan McLean been for the last week?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't remember." And they're like, "Whoa, he doesn't remember what happened." And it's just this huge story. But now he's surrounded by safe, good people. And that makes Piper feel very, very good. So Tristan McLean starts talking to Piper, and Piper's like, "Okay, Dad will probably only give me like 30 seconds. That's usually all I get at this time of day." But he's just relaxed, and he's sharing. He's just telling Piper how much he loves her, how great she is, how proud of her she is, And he just starts saying some really touching stuff, and Piper's just like, "Oh my god, she's gonna break down." Okay, she's trying to control her tears, and she can't even really reply. She's just like touching the computer screen because she's so touched by what her dad says. And he says this really cool line where he says, "You are going to be the best legacy that I can imagine." I'm not sure if I wrote that quote down right, but in any case, he says, "My best legacy is going to be you. People aren't going to remember me. They're going to remember me as Piper's dad because you are going to be amazing." And Piper's just like, "Oh my goodness, Dad, that's the best thing you've ever said to me." And when she finishes the call, she's like, "Whoa, that was like 45 seconds or a minute. Okay, maybe you and I would talk to our dad or mom for like 10 minutes or a half hour or an hour." But Piper was like, 45 minutes, a minute, that's good progress. It's small, but it's progress, and she feels really good. Well, after the video conference, she goes out to like the basketball court to meet Jason. And when she sees Jason, whoo, he's looking good. His muscles are showing. He's in like some workout clothes because he's playing basketball. He has some scars and some bruises, but they look good. And Piper just sits down next to him, and she just starts talking, and Jason's a little bit kind of holding his thoughts or his memories to himself. And Piper's like, "Hey, how did you sleep?" He's like, "Oh, not that good. I was dreaming a lot." And she's like, "Oh, were they memories?" And he's like, "Yeah, they were." Doesn't really tell him too much, but Piper's okay. She is just happy to be next to Jason. And Jason's like, "Yeah, things are gonna be harder." And Piper's like, "It's okay." And Jason says some bad things, and Piper's like, "I'm not worried about it." And Jason says some bad things, and Piper's like, "Cool." He's like, how can you be so confident, Piper?" And Piper says, "Look, I would follow you anywhere." Or she might even say, "I'm going to follow you anywhere." And Jason's like, "Whoa, those are some dangerous words." And she's like, "Yeah, I'm a dangerous girl." So they're kind of flirting a little bit. And Piper she's just being honest and true and confident and proud and happy. And her cabin is kind of watching because she thinks that maybe, or they think that maybe Piper is going to try and kiss Jason. And also, they wonder like their breakup kind of heartbreaking plan, right, for Aphrodite. They have to get someone to fall in love with them and then break their heart. That's how you show that you're a true son or daughter of Aphrodite. That was Drew's old plan, or maybe the girl before. But Piper's like, "No, it's not going to happen." And she takes a little card that Talia gave her, saying, "Hey, if you ever want to be a hunter, just let us know, because we would love to have you as a hunter." But then those hunters can't have any relationships. So she takes the card, throws it in the fire, and she's like, "Jason, let's go. We have an adventure to plan." And she is just committed to Jason and everything that he's going through, which is really, really cool, this whole part. This insecurity that Piper's been feeling is completely gone. And that's fantastic. Well, vocabulary words. So there are actually quite a few in this chapter. The first one is reinvigorated. So that means like getting your energy back. Invigorated means like being full of energy. Re means again. So again, full of energy. So after going to sleep, she just feels fantastic, which we see in the story. Smug, that's like this kind of facial expression like, "I'm better than you, I know more than you, and you are less than me." And that's kind of how Drew always has a smug expression like, "What?" That kind of feeling. Leisurely is like taking your time. So when Piper's getting out of bed, what? She's just talking at her own pace, just relaxing and taking her time. Bug juice red. I've actually never heard this expression. But I imagine if you have a bug and you mush it, there might be some red part of it. And so the point is, Drew's face turns super, super red. And actually, while she's talking to Piper, her face is changing colors. Red, maybe white, red again, purple, and just going back and forth. Dictatorship. A dictatorship is like a king, but without the title of king. Usually it's a military ruler. So in a country, not often, but if a country has a fight within itself, it's usually like the old ruler and then a military leader, the person that controls the army. And the person that controls the army takes over the country, and they become like the king or president, whatever. But they take all the power and all the control, and everything they say is what the people should do. That's a dictator, and a dictatorship is the country following that policy. And so Piper says, Drew, you have ran this cabin like a dictatorship. Like you were the king or queen and making everyone do whatever you want and not giving them any freedom. We can think of Hitler. Hitler was a dictator. In North Korea, we would consider those kind of leaders that they have dictatorships. There's been many other ones in history too, and are currently out there. Spontaneously. Spontaneously means kind of randomly or immediately. So it's just something that, happened. Spontaneous. Maybe you are out with your family, right? You're driving the car or whatever, and your dad says, hey, you guys want to go get some ice cream? What? That wasn't part of the plan. But yeah, let's do it. Spontaneously. Just created it immediately. And I can't remember what spontaneously happened in the story. Plastered. This is covered. So in Chiron's walls, there's so many pictures and different things, and they were plastered. They were stuck there and covered the wall. Plaster is a kind of material you use to cover a wall or hole or to build a wall in different kind of homes. It's like maybe a mud or a clay that you can put on walls. But we can use it as a verb, plastered, to mean like stuck or covered. Lucrative means having a lot of money. So the helicopter pilot that picked up the heroes after Claudius, that pilot got a job offer to be Tristan McLean's pilot. And it was a very good offer. They were giving her a lot of money. It was very lucrative, able to produce money and to give money. And I believe the last one here is God send. And you can imagine just what that means. Just break the word apart. God sent. And I believe Tristan is saying that about Coach Hedge. That Coach Hedge is a godsend, meaning he's been so helpful, so wonderful. It is like God. In this case, it's probably a small g. In the book it is, because it's like many gods. But in the vocabulary, I always capitalize the first word, so it's a big G. It's not talking about God, one God sending something, although it can. It can be a little g, meaning many, a demigod or small god had sent it, or a big god, whatever. But in our book, it's a small g. But Coach Hedge was sent by a god. He's been so wonderful, and that just means something is so wonderful. All right, discussion question. Well, I don't know why I always forget to write that. My discussion question I wanted to ask you, though, was there a moment in your life, okay, sorry it's not here, that you felt so confident and happy after something, right? In this chapter, we see such a change in Piper. She's just glowing with confidence and honesty, which is not what we've seen in the past. So is there anything like that that happened to you? Like you just felt, yeah, I am good enough. There was some event that just boosted you up, filled your heart, and made you feel so great and confident. And of course, please make your own discussion question. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.